Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Brian Castro,
I'm Nancy Edwards.
And I'm Terry Profita.
and we are part of the company called 3D, Digital Design and Drafting. But now we're going to pass it over to Nancy as she will go with the vision statement, and those things.
Our company, 3D, will provide the highest quality service to our clients by tailoring each project as influenced by challenges by bringing our clients' dreams through the virtual world into reality. Next. Our company, 3D, which is Digital Design and Drafting, will revolutionize the digital modeling world by providing mainly consulting services in the Building Information Modeling, which is known as BIM, into our three divisions, which are civil, architecture, and construction applications. Basically, our firm is based in St. Louis, Missouri, and our office will support office spaces, a large printing room, storage for survey equipment, a conference room, and of course typical auxiliary office requirements. Next will be Brian.
Okay, I'm going to go over some of the services that 3D offers. Our first division that we're going to go over is civil. For the civil division, we're going to render three-dimensional modeling showing the site's topography and utilities in the area of interest. This usually is in interest of the site developers that might do an estimate depending on the current condition of the area and the current utilities that need to coordinate it in order to either design around it or move the utilities. Also, we're going to try to show potential payment distress and deterioration with 3D modeling because that's something that's in high demand in state transportation agencies. So let's try to find more accurate ways to determine how the payments are reaching failure. Our next division is architecture. For architecture, we're going to produce drawings and renderings of existing structures that have never been modeled in three-dimensional, and also show the possibilities of new additions in existing structures if theirs were to take place. Our next division is the construction division services. We're going to do 3D point cloud scanning to develop plans for existing conditions. This is for complex MEP projects. And we're going to draft these conditions, and we could also use these plans in order to show how the building could be updated. I'm now going to pass it over to Terry. He's going to go over a sample video of applications that we might use. The video's on the screen right now.
Okay, what is playing in the background is a sample of our finished product, which would be a fully coordinated MEP project. There are different levels of design that our clients can purchase, but they're pretty much all the same. All the above ceiling utilities are located. They can either be located using our 3D point cloud services, or we can coordinate from using an engineer's MEP drawings. Someone will buy these and they could be used in the future for facilities management or simply just for installation expedition. We just thought it'd be good for you guys to see a sample of the one of the final products that we'll be producing. I'm going to turn it back over to Brian here, who's going to go over our organization.
Okay, as you guys can see in the screen, this is the organizational chart of our company. We are divided in three divisions. I'm going to go with the first order. First comes the president. And the president will supervise the vice president of civil engineering division, the vice president of architecture division, and vice president of construction applications division. We will go over the responsibility of each of the vice presidents later on in this presentation. The president also oversees the group that takes care that our day-to-day operations run smoothly, which is the accounting group, the human resources, which is very important in the consulting firm, the IT group, which is good for our website, and then the marketing group, which gets our name out there, 3D. Now, the first vice president I'm going to go over is the vice president of civil. He will oversee 2 lead licensed professional engineers and 2 engineer interns or EIT. and he will also oversee the surveying drafting unit, which doubles as their engineer technicians that double as survey unit and as drafting unit, depending on the season, depending on the job that is required. The next vice president is the vice president of architecture. The vice president of architecture will oversee over 2 licensed architects and 2 entry-level architects and a drafting unit. And the next vice president is the vice president of construction applications. He will oversee 2 construction managers, 2 assistant construction managers, and he will oversee drafting unit. Keep in mind that these construction managers, they're not required to be PEs given the nature of the jobs. The operational plan for 3D was divided by division. There's an operational plan for civil division, operational plan for architecture division, and then there's an operational plan for construction division. For the civil division, we will focus first on the 3-dimensional modeling and surveying at the beginning, and this will provide current site conditions for potential clients. And we will also provide forensic studies of payment failures, and this will increase the trust in our client in us, and this could lead to design projects for 3D, which will bring a larger revenue to our company. Next is the operational plan for the architecture division. We will focus first on 3-dimensional drawings in as-builts and feature modifications, and the quality of the drawings, which will guarantee to the clients, will lead to design work to the firm. Our next operational plan is the operational plan for the construction division. At first, we will focus on existing complex MEP projects, and we'll also show modifications that could be done to existing MEP installations. The quality of these drawings could lead to project management services because our drawings will lead the potential clients to trust us more with our project management skills. With that said, we're going to pass it over to Nancy with the market analysis.
Our market analysis has shown that we are going to be targeting possible clients that will want to see the topography for a potential site, who are interested in current conditions, and then also the potential damage that could occur at these conditions. They are also interested in the causes that have already happened and other ways to prevent them from happening again and to fix. Also, state transportation agencies, we can do work for them, and also by training their employees. Next. Also by providing as-built renderings of current structures. For example, those that have no drawings or have lost their drawings. Those who are interested in needing help visualizing potential modifications to their property, and those who are interested in seeing visualizing property that could be constructed that is already in the works, and of course using renderings to help provide assistance for fundraising campaigns for projects in the works also. Next. Those interested in scanning for complex mechanical, electrical, and plumbing projects, and those who are also interested in updating their MEP systems that need more accurate rendition of their as-builts. Our marketing department will handle most of our marketing needs, but our typical marketing ways will be print media, which will be newspapers, local journals, national trade journals, and of course brochures. Our clients will typically be developers, building owners, even private homeowners, construction companies, partnering with engineering and architecture firms, state agencies, and museums. We will also be able to teach and demonstrate what we do, which will attract clients, and also by attending different trade shows will also help get our name out into the community and to other businesses. And now on to Terry.
Okay, I'm going to talk about the economic conditions that our company is moving into. On the screen, as you can see, this is the home construction data since 2008. It's been in construction industry has been in kind of a slump, which is taking hold of most of the design industry with it. And as early as 2011, it started to make a comeback in the housing. Usually, the commercial market follows right behind the housing. So as we see more construction start going on, that should increase the demand for our services. So this is a good entry point into the market for us on this upswing to try and catch some more as many of the industry expands. The recession of 2008 put a lot of good firms out of business, and a lot of other firms had to cut to the bone in order to stay alive. This means that expensive economic options like BIM modeling or for traditional projects may have been put aside as firms could not invest into these future products. One of our goals is to hopefully jump in and steal these markets away from them before they can expand out because they'll be cash tight coming out of this recession. We picked St. Louis as our headquarters because it is the most affordable place in the country to live. This way we can run our office at almost a 10% or 10 cent per dollar advantage over our competitors. That 10 cents could go towards transportation costs, or it can be used just as a clear-cut advantage. With the advent of the internet, we don't have as much transportation work for our design team, and most of it can be conducted through electronic media like Google Hangout or Skype or GoToMeeting. The chart on the screen here is a survey conducted by McGraw-Hill showing the importance of BIM in the upcoming marketplace. The respondents here are talking about the use of BIM. More than 60% are using it. I believe it's required now, and as you can see, they're expected to expand just in the next 2 years. The requirement of BIM on a project. So what we're trying to do is get in on an emerging market for us to hopefully gain a large sales position. In addition to simple just industry standards leaning that way, the General Service Administration required BIM modeling starting in 2006, and many clients won't accept a building without 3D modeling nowadays. After turnover, our product still has value for maintenance staff that can use it as facilities tracking for replacement or storage of their operations manuals in cyberspace instead of getting lost in an office. The modeling can also be used for 3D takeoff services to really narrow down that quote and hopefully get your bid in down to the penny. The BIM industry is expected to expand to $6.5 billion by 2020, and we are hoping to ride that wave up. I'm going to move now into the actual analysis of our company, our financial analysis. This is a summary of our fixed costs. We incorporated all of our staff as a fixed cost to be conservative. This way everybody's hired for a full year as a projection. We're not attributing their hours to amount of dollars sold, and this way that if we hit our break-even numbers, we'll be covered for people for the entire year and not have to worry about generating a certain volume just to keep our back office in operation. At the bottom left, you can see our fixed cost summary. In a pie chart, so you can see where most of our money is going. The staff costs cover everything from their insurances, benefits, insurance on the work they provide is all rolled into one lump sum for their pay in our breakdown. Since we are a 3-division company, these costs need to be split up. The costs are mostly split 1/3 to each division. However, there are specific costs that other divisions will have more of, and like the road divisions, construction and civil, having trucks and the support for trucks to go out into the field, and architecture has less because they don't have those divisions, or possibly have different salary structures in each division. This is our break-even analysis chart. As you can see, we will need to get to $4.3 million in sales to be able to maintain our business. This break-even analysis is for the company as a whole, and was conducted using a weighted average based on the sales percentages that are required by each individual division and product based on an optimization. So we'll get to we go through linear optimization in a little bit, but that's our break-even point. This is a civil division. In order for the civil division to break even, we have two different products that we're selling in civil. We have office products, and we have the field products. The field products are assessed almost no fixed costs. We really we're limiting them to only 10% of the overall fixed costs, while we have 90% supported by the office. The reason for this is that the office produces most of the profits in our business model, and the field team to go out and measure and survey is hopefully to get in the door for designing the rest of the project or for future projects. This is our architecture break-even analysis. We need to reach $927,000 to break even in the architecture department. They have their same 1/3 of our overall total overhead, and theirs is pretty straightforward. It's one product. We're selling design services, and that's just what we need to hit to make that. Our construction industry is very similar to the civil industry, where we're selling two products. There's a little bit more profit in the field, but we're still mainly using it as a marketing or niche investment, where our clients have a very specific need that needs to be satisfied, and we're banking on volume in the construction modeling. A lot of people can do construction modeling. It's not really, it doesn't require a lot of specialization, so there's not a very large profit margin, and we have to fight against a lot of competition in order to get any kind of success. So hence we have a huge volume for the break-even there. And then our total construction break-even is the highest of our three divisions. In our linear optimization model, we did a break-even analysis so that we knew at the break-even how we can make the most money. So these are target benchmarks to try and even balance our budget for the year. The important information that you can pull out of the percentage usage of our staff is that we have room for growth in our highly specialized employees, and that our draftsmen are not so specialized, and the ones who are probably the most readily available are the ones that are in the most demand. This means that we can expand very easily into our marketplace and pick up additional people at additional low-cost employees before we have to hire additional specialized people. And the distance down could be, you could use it as a hedge bet against inefficiency, or also as expected room for growth or profit. When we run 100%, this is the percentage of our products that we have to sell to basically make it through. And I know on here it may be a little odd that we don't have to sell any civil, but that ties into in a perfect world we're not forcing to sell our civil. It's being sold mainly as the on-site civil. We want to sell a lot of civil design. Our on-site civil we want to sell more as an option that we will have that no one else will, to break us apart from our competition. We've done a cash flow analysis for our project here. Some notable things on here is we're expecting no sales for the first 3 months. We figured this was a conservative bet. Within this cash flow analysis, there are a couple of assumptions. There's a 10% interest on debt included. We're expecting 2% growth for the first year per month, and then we're expecting that to drop off to less than 0.5% after we reach our month, 1 to 2 months, or 1 to 2 years. We also have a 10% contingency built into our costs on this cash flow forecast for any unknowns that may come up. throughout the duration, throughout the business operations. On this chart, we are expecting to start making a profit at about 2 years out, and we are expecting to be debt-free within 5. Our goal is to be debt-free with under 6. One of the things that's really dragging our costs down here is our minimum interest. So if we pay 10% interest, it's going to cost us $557,000 to get off the ground. And this is the minimum, assuming that all profits are geared towards repaying interest over the duration. So this is, we took this into consideration as a major problem. So if we go out and get a loan, we won't be, we came up with an alternate solution, which is a joint venture or venture capital model. So with an infusion of cash from investors up front, hopefully we will be able to operate with less interest and also benefit our investors. So instead of getting ourselves into the interest trap, we offer 50% repayment of our total profit whenever we generate profit per month. Up until the loan is repaid, we're expecting to need $1.75 million to be able to stay out of the to be able to stay in the black. Once that 1.75 is repaid, we will repay 6% of our total profits for 5 years afterwards. So this offers a different investment model for our investors rather than just giving us money and charging the standard interest. It's a little bit more risky because of our repayment plan, but since we are targeted to be repaid in under 5 years, and we are also expecting to turn around a profit and continue growth, all this extra capital at 5 years plus can be used to open additional offices and possibly double or even triple our office's output, which would be a huge cash return on our investors. Assuming we don't do that, though, and we just continue as our model is outlined and follow the venture capital plan, we expect to outperform the bank CDs for $1 million plus. The best one available that we could find was a 1.75 APR, and we outperformed that by almost $200,000 over the duration of what the investment would be, and that would be with minimum growth. Should we open the second or third office, that growth could be double or triple. So since we're talking about the investment, let's talk about the risk to our organization. Our first risk that we identified was that our civil market declines, the construction market declines, and the architectural market declines, numbers 1, 2, and 3. There's a probability that that happens and that we lose profits on each of those. That's pretty much standard with any market. But the way our organization is set up, we're hedged against an individual market declining. Let's say our construction team can't get any work, our BIM modeling is not working out for us. We still have design services and field services to diversify our company's portfolio in case an individual market tanks. Additionally, a lot of our staff is flexible. Our architectural draftsmen and architects are very familiar with CAD, and our construction draftsmen can be passed back and forth between all the divisions so that if a certain division slows up, we can transfer our personnel to the other divisions to pick up work and hopefully make it through a tough time. And our next risk that we identified was maybe if we don't hit our sales marks. If we're not making our sales marks, the company with our model using everyone as fixed cost, we would have a tremendous amount of debt taken on without landing a sale. The good news is that we can slowly ramp up our staff and operate with a minimum bare-bones staff for the first few months until we basically become solvent, and then we can grow up to our as our market expands up to our total profitability, which at this point will be $5.1 million without expanding. One of our goals is to reach out and get some local partnering. St. Louis is an engineering marketplace. There are tons of engineering firms there. We want to be able to outsource a lot of their work and pull it in as a niche, as, hey, we can do this for you, we can crank out this model for you. Your architecture firm is working with this engineering firm, and we'll coordinate everything if you give us your models and make sure that everything fits above the ceiling. And then we could also sell that to the contractors, or perhaps our clients would be able to pass that on. If this happens, we can double our marketing budget and still be under and still have room to profit to try and get our name out. Our field teams use very specialized equipment. There's a good chance that this equipment will break or fail. The good news is that the 3D point scan is only $25,000 each. It's not a large amount when you look at our overall operating budget, around $2.5 million a year. Since we're based in St. Louis and we're planning on marketing nationally, there's a chance that the total cost of transportation could increase over the next 6 months to a year. Doing that, we're somewhat hedged against it because we can hit most of the Midwest by road if required. But if the costs go up too much and airfare becomes a problem, we can focus on the St. Louis market and possibly expand by opening up offices on the East and West Coast and switch to a more localized individual market using our startup model that we did with our St. Louis office. We're also at risk for new technologies coming out. That's just simply, you can't really hedge much about it except try to keep on the leading edge of technology and keep all of our equipment up to date so that we aren't caught blindsided by some new technology that revolutionizes the industry. This is an emerging market, so we're going to be up against some competition. If one of our divisions runs into a strong competitor and can't get out, we can always back out of that marketplace and possibly even shut down that division if we don't land any work, which reduces our overhead, and then we can actually hopefully focus on the ones that are our real money makers. There's a chance that St. Louis could make a comeback and possibly increase our cost of living, and we would lose our 10% advantage. We could move out of the St. Louis market, find a new one, or open up regional offices to help mitigate that risk. I'm now going to turn it over to Nancy, who has some measurements of success of our company to discuss.
Our first goal is to have sales by the third quarter of our first year. Again, by doing this, we are just playing it safe and being conservative. Then our next major goal is financially is to break even by the 2-year mark, and then to increase staff around year 3. And then it would be great to be able to do pro bono work because we are able to, and not just for tax purposes. And then next, our way long-term plans is to be completely debt-free in the 5 to 6 years, as we talked about, or sooner if possible. As mentioned also before, we'd like to grow and expand our office locations as needed, but targeting the coasts and then major metropolitan areas. Again, we would be able to form partnerships with other companies and firms, and then eventually, possibly, buy out our competitors. Thank you very much